I would describe it as effective, intense, transparent, but also fair and by example. So all the traits you want out of a leader who's also a competitive firecracker. He's got it all, and he brings the juice, and when we're up or down, he's going to bring that same intensity, which is what you need in a guy in his position.
Chuckled a little bit when I first asked that.
He's just intense, and I love it, but all in a good way, you know.
Josh yesterday was pretty impassioned when he talked about him, and I think he used the word misunderstood. Do you see that?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, you look at this past off season, that whole stuff. You know, his fire to win burns deep and constant, kind of like an Olympic flame. Like it's just like it's always going, and he's got the torch and he's trying to pass it on to everyone else. You know what I mean? So for us, it's just feeding off what he brings every game day, and you know, he's going to treat every game like it's a big one, and that's what you want.
Hey Mitch, when you went back and watched the Jags film, you know, after going through the doldrums of the first like 3 quarters or so, how close did you guys feel like you were to kind of like cracking through?
Yeah, I think in every loss you can look back at some stuff that you want to transfer over to the next game. The big thing for us was communication and execution, and when you lack those, it's hard to win. And that's what we did, and it showed, and it was apparent. By the time we started executing, it was too late in the game for us to come back and win. And we didn't give our defense an opportunity to catch their breath. So for us, it's about giving them an opportunity.
Were you somewhat encouraged based on like what you went back and saw that those things could be cleaned up?
Yeah, I think it's always a sense of urgency more than anything. I know I use that often, but it's I wouldn't say you're encouraged after a loss. I think that I guess you are, about opportunities that were just on your fingertips, on your cusp. All the stuff is fixable. It just comes to us to be accountable on those mistakes, and there are plenty I would like back from last weekend.
With Josh, you guys play so much out of the shotgun. We were talking about it with Ken a little bit on Monday. Have you seen him grow at all in terms of what he's able to do when he is asked to play under center?
Yeah, well, I think he does such a good job of executing in general, understanding what's required. It's a great question, and that's a roundabout answer of me saying it's a great question I don't know how to answer. I think we've used it in the past few games a lot more than we have yeah, it's a good question. I don't have an answer for it, so I'm just kind of beating around the bush.
When you guys come out like you did in that game, I guess this is more of like a broader question about Josh over the years, but like in those moments where you guys are banging your head against the wall, 4 straight drives and in with a punt, what's he like in those moments that might be a little bit different than years past?
Yeah, well, I think we understand the power of time of possession and the power of just executing early and what that does just for our team. And so I think as those progressed, you know, there was constructive frustration, is what I'd say, and it was rightfully so. We were just miscues on all facets of an offense. So it wasn't demeaning or detrimental, but there was a fire, and it was warranted. So for us, it's just kind of executing early when we can. Understand the defense are going to throw their best at you early too.
From Josh specifically?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yes, from Josh specifically.
And what's that like when he kind of is feeling that? And I mean, that's a leadership style. I mean,
Totally.
We've seen it from the greats over the years. Do you guys feel that?
Yeah, well, I mean, not only do you feel it, but you know, all of us understand the position. You know, all of us are feeling it internally to a certain extent. But to see the guy who wears that, you know, that C on his chest, I believe it's a golden C on his chest, vocalize those frustrations in a manner that he usually doesn't. Like I said, it wasn't demeaning or destructive. It was very constructive. So it lights a fire, and it just kind of, like my favorite word is sense of urgency. It's what we had to bring out, and something we'll have to do better in the future endeavors.
Is there any sense as an offense to pick things up a little bit, to let the defense, if they work some new guys in with some losses, let them feel their way to, maybe, broaden the margin for error?
Well, I think what we have to do is just, I think when you look at it like that, or you try to go outside of yourself, or you put extra pressure on yourself, you start doing things out of the ordinary, or doing more than your job. And that's something that I catch myself trying not to do, but doing often. And when you do that, you make silly mistakes, or you put yourself in a position that actually, as much as your intentions were pure and good, you actually do the inverse of that. It actually becomes detrimental. So for us, we understand that we've lost some key players on defense. We're not going to try to change our mindset on offense. We're just trying to execute every chance we can. And we have the ultimate faith in those guys coming in. It's the beautiful thing about this team. We got guys stepping up.